I want to talk a little bit about economics and risk. And every manufacturing decision has to stand up to both scientific and financial scrutiny. A topic to which you both alluded to throughout our discussion today, from cash runway and VC involvement and that type of thing. Um, as we're trying to balance capital efficiency, speed, flexibility, we're also trying to avoid the kind of short-term decision that makes, decisions really expensive later. So, Sugu, how should cell and gene therapy companies think about capital efficiency when they are comparing all of the options in front of them: rent, lease, buy, build?
Um, so we talked a little bit about this earlier. I think most of the times it becomes a decision between leasing and building. And early on, it may leasing actually allows you to defer some of the capital costs, but it does not give you the type of control that your product may need. And then you may also need to share what you might think is really important from an IP standpoint. And so that's where build can give you an advantage, but then of course the capital outlay could be significant. But eventually, when you do get to something like a commercial, product where the volumes are high, you want to have that control in house. So it's again, like I said earlier, in the example of a Kite viral vector, it could be a changing equation where you may start your decision could be different early on, and as you know that you're going to be treating more patients, you want to be able to bring it in house, and sometimes they could be a supplement for a different region, but then the problem could be, like we talked earlier, the comparability could be an issue. So it's a question of balancing not just cost, but program strategy, speed, volumes, and the timelines for that particular program, and how complex the operation is.
Gotcha. Okay. And perhaps, building on that, Emily, in the spirit of, making sure that we're not making fast and loose decisions, what hidden costs tend to show up later when a company either chooses the cheapest or the fastest manufacturing path? And, how are we trying to avoid, you get what you pay for. So how are we trying to avoid any issues, and what are some of the hidden costs that could come up if we make the wrong choice because we're moving too quickly?
Yeah, well, let's start with the big one, right? To Damien's question, and even to Shelley's, if you haven't taken the time to make sure that the installed capability or capacity is a fit for your product, then it's going to be very expensive to go somewhere else. So I think, like, the worst case scenario is they cannot produce what I need. They can't produce it safely, or I have selected somewhere and they can only do, let's say, drug product through phase 1. And if you haven't taken the time to understand that their capacity or capability was designed to only be for phase 1, you ultimately are going to have to change where you go, which could mean starting all over again from a process development perspective. So that is really the worst case. I won't say rework, but it is like the most amount of rework that you could possibly ever have. Or, God forbid, what you've given them, your asset from a discovery perspective, is produced, not the way you want it. You have all empty capsids or partially filled capsids, and now you're just submitting a giant container of contamination or contaminants as far as the FDA is concerned. So not, again, having demonstrated ability to successfully produce a program, and you might not find out about that till you get the analytical results way down the line, is, can be really, really devastating. So I would encourage sponsors out there that maybe if it's your first time using a CDMO, partner with a consultant or a firm that can ask all of those insane questions, right? Really open up the hood and vet the fitness of your selection, because it's money well spent in the beginning, for sure.
Gotcha. Okay. We had a question come in from Charlotte, and maybe Emily, maybe we could start with you. We'll see what they say. We'll see what happens here. What are your thoughts on developing processes in automatic systems like, I think she needs Solaris, Cell Shuttle, or Lonza Cocoon, Is the cost worth it? And how could it impact decentralized manufacturing strategies?
Yeah, so great question, Charlotte. Thanks so much. I do think that it's worth it if you've done some kind of initial assessment that your product can go into something. Not everybody's product can be made that way, so it's very specific with autologous cell therapy, for example. Um, and I think that it could break the entire mold and really allow us to have way more decentralized manufacturing, point of care manufacturing, because you've instantly taken that very difficult to produce product where you're spending a ton on overhead and aseptic manufacturing and personnel that are like, you have to train out the wazoo and spend all the money on developing that. You're literally putting it into a box that you could maybe produce at a hospital or, at a clinical center, or, reach patients that are in rural areas. So it's not for everyone. It's certainly not for every process, but if you've done an initial fitness check and your program can fit into it, I think it's really incredible, because we spend so much time and money on these life-saving therapies, and it's such a bottleneck because of how they have to be produced.